There's a dirty little secret that every entrepreneur is keeping from you. And I didn't know about it until I actually started my first business. When we all set out to be an entrepreneur, we all think we're getting one thing in particular: freedom. We think that when we start a business, money will come easy, that once we have the money, then it comes the time, and then ultimately no one can tell us nothing. No one can tell us what to work on, when to work on it, and it's all going to be amazing. Then it begins. We get our first client, we go full time, and then we realize we don't have any more freedom than we did when we were 9 to 5. And in fact, we have less. Clients need all the attention in the world. We constantly have to reiterate the product we're working on or the service. We have to work on branding and everything else. And then on top of that, once we actually do come up with a solid offer, now we got to figure out the marketing. We are the marketing. We're the salesperson. We're wearing all the hats. Then comes the dark side of entrepreneurship. In my opinion, the one thing that the big gurus are not telling you about. It's the fact that because you're working so much, because personally you're so intertwined with the business, how much work is involved in it, you start to deteriorate a little bit. Your mindset kind of goes to the wayside. Negativity happens more and more. Health-wise, you don't work out as much as you used to. You don't eat right. And sometimes, like me, maybe you go a full day without eating before you realize, man, I haven't eaten today. You don't spend time with your family anymore. Your friends don't know how to relate to you, so you don't really talk to them anymore. Or if you have a partner, for example, your husband or wife will realize you're kind of pulling away from them. Not on purpose, but just because of how much you love this thing that is your business. You see, I didn't know about the dark side of entrepreneurship before I began. And that's why, honestly, I'm a little bit irritated about this new book that came out. So recently, this book came out, Conquer the Chaos by Clate Mask. It's a good buddy of mine. And honestly, I was a little bit frustrated when it first came out. When as I'm reading it, I'm realizing, man, where was this book when I started my business 4 years ago? The reason why the book, I think, is so important for entrepreneurs to read, whether it's before you start a business or after, and you start to get the chaos, is it talks about the realities of starting an online business. It talks about the dark side and ultimately how we can get out of it. And the way that we get out of it are the 6 keys he calls of success. First, let's start with the personal keys. The first 3 keys to success is all personal. For the first thing, for example, is mindset. And one of my favorite things that he talks about is this idea that comes from Dr. Joe Dispenza. And he talks about a different book, but I'm going to relate it back to something I heard him say once, which is your personal reality is based on your personality, and you can and should change your personality. The idea is that who you are is the forefront of everything. And what he means by that is our thoughts become actions, and our actions become habits, and our habits become our reality. And so for the way that we're thinking is all messed up and it's not accurate, it's not right, and it doesn't serve us, well, we need to change our thoughts. Nobody talks about this, once again, when you're first starting in entrepreneurship. And so what I love about the book is he starts in at the fact that we can change the way that we think, and we really should. Next up is the vision. And this is, by the way, something we all know we need to do, but none of us spend the time to do it because it's not as flashy or fun as marketing, for example, but it's incredibly important. That's the vision. The vision, your goals, your daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly goals that lead up to your 3-year goals. These are things that we know we need to do. Setting out goals. And the truth of the matter is, if you don't have goals, you don't know where you want your business to go, or more importantly, your personal life, how in the world can you know if you've ever made it? And this is something that I kind of realized in my own business, that even when I got to 6 figures, then multiple 6 figures in my business, I wasn't fulfilled. Well, because it wasn't really a goal. I didn't take time to celebrate it for 1, and for 2, I was kind of aiming at the dark because nothing was lining up. We do these behaviors, whether it's, again, the way that we sell, the services we come out with, whatever, and they don't align with the end personal goal. And again, we can't forget the reason why we even started in the first place was the personal freedom that we can get when we own our own business. Again, none of that was something that really was described to me in the way that this book does. Next up, obviously, we have the rhythm. This is something I heard Dan Sullivan talk about in 10X Easier Than 2X, another book that I highly recommend. But the whole idea is how you structure your days and the way that you show up is a rhythm. That ultimately, if you don't bake in the time to go on retreats like he recommends, like if you don't take time for your morning routine, you're going to allow life to dictate what you do, versus what Clate's talking about in this book is you set the rhythm. You're the entrepreneur, you're the business owner, you set the rhythm, but also give you space for creativity, to give you space to figure out, are you going in the right path that you should? And if none of this makes any sense to you, he breaks down into the 3 things that you could do to still achieve the personal keys to success. The 3 things are: wake up early, plan your week, do quarterly retreats. If you literally just do those 3 things, the personal keys to success usually take care of themselves, and it's a good place to start. The next 3 keys that Clate talks about are all around the business. The 4th key is honestly my favorite. It's my favorite thing to plan out and think about. It's the customer journey. We have to build out your strategy to acquiring customers and think about what that life cycle looks like. He calls it the customer life cycle. And by the way, Clate and his business partner, Scott, who created Keep, has been talking about lifecycle automation for 20 years. But the way that you think about it is really this simple. Starting from when your customers find you, right? Your leads are just leads. What does that process look like from when they come into your atmosphere, when they come into your ecosystem, and to the point where they're raving fans, they want to tell everyone about you, and ultimately giving you referrals and that fulfillment process and everything in between. And so the way that he articulates is just really 3 steps. How are we going to collect the leads, convert the client, turn them into raving fans? Which then bleeds into the next key to success, which is automate. You can automate this process to free up more time so that way you're not cold calling people all day, but there's a very simplistic way of automating this through email and text that Keep, his company, allows us to do. So for example, right, imagine you have a lead out there, which is a PDF, or it could be even a masterclass that you do. It's the process of how do you collect that lead, deliver that content to them in a way that makes them inspired and want to take the next step, book a call with you so you can talk about your offering and essentially turn that lead into a client, hence the second stage, convert client. And then you fulfill in that process. It's an outstanding experience. They give you 5-star rating. The fulfillment process is automated. They're able to get what they need through emails and text, and you don't have to call them 18,000 times and try to chase them down for invoices. It all gets done automatically. And in the final stage, create raving fans, you ask for a referral at this point. You ask for a survey. You deliver on what you promise in a way that gives you time back, but also makes the client happy. All of this, once again, done automatically. The final stage, or the final key to success as an entrepreneur, is going to be leadership. And this, of course, is where as you scale, as you grow, you need to start thinking about who you're going to hire next. At this stage, the automated process is happening. You understand how to operate yourself as an individual and still find the success you want and be happy doing it, both in your life and in your business. You've automated your customer life cycle, and ultimately you're making more money than God. At this point, though, you need to multiply yourself. You need to get as many people as humanly possible you can to continue to scale the business, but not just anybody. It has to be the right who, which, by the way, another book drop, Who Not How, really details this out pretty well too. The whole idea, once again, is if you find the right who, you don't have to worry about the how. And in the book, once again, he details out exactly who to find, what kind of leadership meetings you need to have, the type of cadence you need to have, so that way, ultimately, your business still continues to grow. So look, at the end of the day, we have to be honest about entrepreneurship. And I'm really glad this book got made. And arguably, the only thing I'm mad about is that it wasn't made 4 years ago when I actually needed it, when my business was really suffering and personally I didn't know how I was going to manage it all. The truth of the matter is, entrepreneurship is fun, and you can have freedom, and you can grow a business that you love and makes you money and gives you time and impact and all those things while simultaneously still maintaining a really healthy personal life. All of this is possible, but only if you know how to conquer the chaos. And that's why I think even if you're just starting on your business, you can read this book and work backwards to make sure you never go into chaos. Or 2, if you're a business owner currently and you're thinking, man, there's so much to this process. There's so much still that I have to do and manually do that you don't have to do anymore. This book is also for you. The key is realizing that it's perfectly possible to have the life that you want as well as the business that you want, so long as, once again, you conquer the chaos. Thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about the book, if you picked it up already, or maybe talk about some of the keys that has led to your success in conquering the chaos. With that being said, I'll catch you in the next video.